Welcome to Blackboard Collaborate. This is a fantastic tool available to teachers in a regular classroom as well as teachers in an online or distributed learning environment. This tool allows you to meet with students when they're not able to actually come in and meet with you in person. This tool has a whole variety of things available to you. There is a text chat down in the bottom corner here where you can actually greet students, and it records the chat. It also allows you to ask questions and keep track of specific details. I find it's a great place to leave a web address or URL to allow students to go look at things. You also find there are some useful tools in the form of polling, or if I want to raise my hand, and the more people that enter a class that have questions, it will keep track of which question was first, second, etc. You can ask yes or no questions, and you can change the format. You can even do multiple choice polling, which is really nice, and you can find those things under your tools. So for example, if I go under polling, I can choose a polling type of multiple choice with yes, no, A to C, A to D, A to E. You can also lock in the responses and then publish the responses to the whiteboard so you can share what comes out. It's a great way to find out, for example, what people know about a topic, or you want to get an idea before revealing where you're going next. This large open space you see before you is the whiteboard. On there, I can do a whole variety of ways of providing information to students or allowing for input. I can use things like a text box to type in words that are legible. They come out typed, they're not just handwritten. I have the ability to use a drawing tool, which is great if I want to get certain ideas across. I might write out an equation, much like you would see in a math notebook. You're able to create new pages so you don't lose the other information, and you're able to bounce back and forth between them and change the size of them. I have the ability to add in shapes if they're relevant. What's really nice about this is it allows a lot of creativity when working on the whiteboard. You're also able to take still snapshots and things like that. At the end of your session, you are able to save your whiteboards. So all the whiteboards that have been written on, you can save them in a variety of formats. I tend to like to save them as PDFs. So if a student does not want to go back into the Collaborate environment, they can just load the PDF on their computer. There are a number of other features that are quite nice, such as the application sharing if you've got a program you want to demonstrate on your computer, or a web tour where you can actually guide students to specific parts on the web. Many of these things are quite useful. You can record the text chat, that's the chat down in the bottom corner. You can record your whiteboards. You can record the audio. You can even file transfer through Blackboard Collaborate. However, I do recommend if you want to share a file with members of a larger class and not just an individual, I recommend setting up another way of sharing the file, maybe something like a Google Drive instead, and share the file there. Sharing it through Blackboard Collaborate can slow your connection down quite dramatically. There are so many features that are available in Blackboard Collaborate. There's a lot of great tutorials out there to use. I've given some links to those later on in the session. Please give it a try. You can use this in a regular classroom as well as a DL classroom. Can you hear me? What questions do you have? We're in chemistry right now, and we were working on chemical reactions. Was that going okay for you? Do you mean the burning of hydrogen? Okay. So we'd be starting off with hydrogen. And remember, hydrogen and oxygen are both diatomic, so they are H2 and O2. And when they combine, do you remember what's actually being made? Excellent. So we have water. Now, when we take a look at this, does it look like it's balanced on both sides, or are we sure what that means? When we take a look here at the hydrogens, we can see, yes, you have 2 on this side and 2 oxygens on this side. You have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. How can we fix that? We have to add oxygens, but we can't just add an oxygen, but what we can add is a second H2O like this. But most chemists are a little bit lazy, and we don't want to write it like that. So instead of writing a piece on top, you can see here we have 2 waters. Now I put a big 2 out front because that means we have 2 of them, not 2 of them bonded together. All these little numbers the subscripts indicate that they're part of a bonded compound. All the big numbers in front, the coefficients, just mean we have more of them. So now if we go and do a new total of what we've got, what you can see here is we have 2 times 2 means that there are now 4 hydrogens on this side and 2 oxygens on this side, with 2 and 2 on this side. So are we balanced now? Okay, and so again, I'm just looking at the top again to write it. I can only add them as they appear, so I add another 2, which means I'm going to put a big 2 in front of this. That brings our total now to... Perfect, and there's our balanced equation.